The internet threw itself into a tizzy recently when Woody Harrelson kinda sorta said he was playing Garris Shrike in the Han Solo film. So this seems like a good time to talk about who Garris Shrike is in Star Wars Legends, and I'll discuss whether or not I think the character will actually show up in the film. Unfortunately, there just aren't any pictures of Garris Shrike, they don't exist, so just bear with me on the visuals here. So in Star Wars Legends, Garris Shrike was the man who raised Han Solo. Han was an orphan on Corellia, and Shrike quote-unquote saved him from the streets. Of course, what he was actually doing was collecting a gang of orphans to use in cons and scams. He was once a bounty hunter, but he failed in that life, so I guess his plan B was the orphan gang. He treated them very poorly, beat them, didn't give them medical attention, and only used them for profit. As you probably could have guessed, Han was not an easy child to control. He received the worst of the beatings and received them often. 10 years before the events of A New Hope, Han finally escaped the gang and then racked up a number of bounties for himself. Wanting to teach the young man a lesson and collect the bounty, Shrike tracked him down, but was killed by a competing bounty hunter. So that's his basic history, and now it's time to talk about whether or not that's the character we'll be seeing in the Han Solo film. I would say it is definitely possible. There are some things pointing in that direction, at least. We know for sure that Woody Harrelson will be playing a mentor of sorts to Han. That fits. Lawrence Kasdan has said that the film will take place about 10 years before A New Hope. That fits too. So yeah, the facts we know for sure do line up. Then, of course, there's the clip in which Woody straight up says he's playing Garris Shrike. Now, I think everyone is gonna have a different opinion on this. Personally, I don't think I can take Woody at his word. He may have just been confirming that he is playing Han's mentor, and the name Garris Shrike could have gone way over his head. I just don't want to get my hopes up based on one interview and no official statement from Lucasfilm. Even so, I'm not writing off the possibility of Shrike's inclusion. At the very least, I think Woody will be playing a character very similar to Garris. Shrike was created for the novel The Paradise Snare by A.C. Crispin. Crispin says that she was told by Lucasfilm that Han had been raised by a gang of thieves that forced him into a life of crime. Also, Han was written into the first draft of Revenge of the Sith as an orphan. Now, neither of those things are definitely canon or have to be followed by new stories at all, but there are just some things about Han's character that had already been thought out and considered by Lucasfilm. The fact that he was an orphan forced into a gang. I would say it's pretty likely that those elements will still be a part of his canon story. And if that's the case, why not Shrike too? Again, I'm like 50-50 on this, and I don't think we can consider Garris to definitely be Harrelson's character, but if all of these story elements are kept, I'm having a hard time thinking of a reason to not include Shrike as well. With Thrawn's appearance in Rebels, we know Lucasfilm is cool with cherry-picking here and there from Legends. So there's precedence. Also, we have Han, Lando, Chewie, and I'm assuming Emilia Clarke will be a love interest of some sort, and I'm betting they're all protagonists. What we don't have in the cast right now is a villain, and Garris Shrike would be a very interesting antagonist. Someone with a personal history to Han, a mentor that is kind of an abusive father figure. The story could center around Han's exit from the gang and then Shrike's pursuit. Not too long ago, I talked about this in one of my Q&A videos, and at the time, I thought it was more likely that Woody would be playing a new character. But the more I thought about it, and the more I looked into things, the more I've been swayed. Earlier I said I was like 50-50 on this, but really it's more like 60-40 in favor of Harrelson being Shrike. Again, he doesn't necessarily have to be named the same, but I ask why not? The only reason I can think of is if they plan to tell a wildly different story. But I think most signs point towards seeing something that will, at least in broad strokes, be pretty similar to Han's Legends history. In my opinion, Garris would be a perfect fit. He would be an awesome connection for longtime fans of Star Wars Legends, but he would also be very easily integrated into the story so that new fans wouldn't feel like they're missing anything. But what do you think? Will Woody Harrelson be playing Garris Shrike, or a new, similar character, or will he be a new and very different character? He could always be a really great guy, you never know. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.